Prabhu, you can start Pranam Mantra and start reading from here, from
Yes.
41.
Okay. Om Ajnanatimirandhasya Jnananjanashalakaya Chakshurunmritam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namah. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadahmayam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuktapad Shri Gurum Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधा कृष्णपादान् सहगण ललिता श्रीविखान्वितांश्च हे कृष्णा करुणा सिन्धु दीनबन्धु जगत्पते गोपेशा गोपिका कान्ता राधा कान्ता नमोऽस्तुते तप्तकाञ्चन गौरङ्गी राधे वृन्दावनेश्वरी वृषभानुस्तुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये वञ्चकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्यैव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैता गदाधर शिवसदि गौर भक्त वृंदा हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे. So I'll start reading 44, 41 to 44, the four social orders, varnas and their qualities. 41, the four varnas. Brahmana, Kshatriya, Visham, Shudranam cha parantapa, Karmani pravibhaktani, Swabhava prabhavarguna. Brahmanas, Kshatriyas, Vaishyas, and Shudras are distinguished by the qualities born of their own natures in accordance with the material modes. Okay. 42. Qualities of Brahmanas. Samo Shamo Damastapa Saucham Shantir Arjavamejo Evacha Jnanam Vijnanam Astikyam Brahma Karma Swabhavajam. Samodamastapa Saucham, peacefulness, self control, austerity, cleanliness, Shantir Archavam Evacha, tolerance, honesty, Jnanam Vijnanam Astikyam, knowledge, wisdom, religiousness. These are the natural qualities by which the Brahmanas work. 43. Qualities of Kshatriya. शौर्यं तेजो धृतिर्दाक्ष्यं युद्धे चापि अपलायनं दानम् ईश्वरभावश्च शास्त्रं शास्त्रं कर्म स्वभावजम्. Heroism, power, determination, resourcefulness, courage in the battle, not fleeing, generosity and leadership are the natural qualities of work of the Kshatriyas. Qualities of Vaishyas and Shudras. कृषि गोरक्ष वाणिज्यम वैश्य कर्म स्वभावजम परिचार्यात्मकं कर्म शूद्रायापि स्वभावजम. Farming, cow, protection, and business are the natural duties of the Vaishyas. Labor and service are labor and service to other varnas are the natural duties of the Shudras. Can should I read out, Prabhuji? Okay.
Yes, Prabhu, keep on reading.
Okay. 41 to 48. Purification through prescribed duties of Varnashram. 45 to 48. Importance of sticking to one's prescribed duty. 45 to 46. Perfection for everyone. Yatta pravritir bhutanam yena sarvam idam tatam swakarmanatam abhyarcha siddhim vindati manavaha. By performing his duties and worshipping the Supreme Lord, who is all pervading and the source of all beings, everyone can become perfect. 47. Better to do one's duties. Shreyan swadharmo viguna paradharmat swanishtitat swabhava niyatam karma kurvannapnoti kilbhisham. It is better to do one's own duties as a Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, and Shudra, even imperfectly, than to do others' duty perfectly. Duties prescribed according to one's own nature are not affected by sinful reactions. 47, 48. Endeavors have faults. Saha jam karma kaunteya sahdosham api na tyajet सर्वारंभा हि दोषेण धूमेनाग्नेर इवावृताः. All endeavors are covered by some faults. Just as fire is covered by smoke, so one should not give up the work born of his nature, even if it has some fault. Points. 1. A Brahmin has to perform sacrifice in which animal killing is necessary. A Kshatriya, however pious he may be, he has to fight enemies. Similarly, a merchant must sometimes hide his profit to stay in business, and a Shudra may sometimes have to serve a bad master. Despite these flaws, one should continue to carry out his prescribed duties as just as by removing the smoke just as by removing the smoke the fire is useful for removing darkness and cold smoke the fire is useful. Let me read again. Just as by removing the smoke the fire is useful, removing darkness and cold smoke, uh, the fire is useful. Okay, next sentence. So by removing faulty portion of one's work the good portion is useful for purification of one's existence. So despite problems we should continue to do
Right.
our
So it's
work.
very clear, right? We just have
Mm.
to keep on reading.
We have to do our duties. 49 to 55, uh, Brahman platform. So in the upper diagram, it says reaction free work through Gyan Yoga leads to Brahman platform, which leads to Pure Bhakti.
So we have already studied this, right? I don't have to emphasize too much of this. So it says
Huh.
that Niskam karma leads to Gyan Yoga, which we have studied in
Yeah.
chapter 3 and 4 and 5. And then purification of intelligence through the knowledge, one come to the stage of Brahman platform, where
Hmm.
one is thinking. Brahman has multiple meaning here. Brahman has meaning that one thinks that we are not this body, we are
Hmm.
the soul. That's
Hmm.
also Brahman realization. And Brahman also means here that Supreme Lord is the ultimate truth. Ultimate truth is Supreme
Hmm.
Lord. So one come to that Brahman stage means both he knows that I'm not this body, and he knows that there is controller of all the things that's happening in the material world, and that is Supreme Lord.
Hmm.
But then that understanding, when further purifies through the process of devotional service, working under proper sambandha, sambandha means relationship, which in pure bhakti happens, then one come to the stage of pure bhakti. So this we have studied and we have gone through it many times. So that's why I would just read it. And if you have any questions, any point, anything is not clear, please raise your hand, ask. Okay, Prabhu, continue.
Okay. 49. Perfect stage of sannyas. Asakta buddhi sarvatra jitatma vigata spriha नैष्कर्म्य सिद्धिं परमां संन्यासेनाधिगच्छति. 1. Whose intelligence is detached from all material objects. Asakta buddhi sarvatra. 2. Whose mind is controlled. Jitatma. 3. Who is without material desires. Um, Vigata spriya. By complete renunciation of all activities. Sannyasena attains the highest perfection of no action and reaction. Nashkarmya siddhim.
Right, this is beautiful. Normally, if somebody will ask what is sannyas, then this verse is cited. So sannyasi has these qualities. Ashakta buddhi sarvatra. His buddhi means intelligence.
Intelligence.
So his intelligence is not ashakt. Ashakt means bound.
Detached.
So
Not.
he is not bound. Shakta, ashakta. He is free. He is not attached. So ashakta buddhi is very important. Mostly ordinary human being have attachment. So he's like renouncing, right? We say the renounce order of life. What does it mean? He's not showing attachment with anything, and then his mind is controlled, and he does not have bigat aspriha. Aspriha means material desire. Bigat means without. He is free from the material desire, right? You will see most of the sannyasi, they are not
Mm,
doing uh, anything for themselves. They only act for Krishna consciousness, right?
mm,
And then by by acting like that, he is engaging in actions which is neskarmyam, which
mhm,
is which does not have reactions, that leads to siddhim, leads to perfection. So these are the qualities, ashakta buddhi sarvatra jitatma and bigat aspriha. These are the quality. So you can read the purport of this verse, but sannyasi means having, in fact, many sannyasi I have seen, they keep on coming and reading this verse to make sure that they are developing these qualities. In many sannyas classes, you will see the spiritual master will talk on this verse and explain a little bit deeper what is asakta buddhi sarvatra, give many examples. But that's how we see it. Okay,
mm.
Prabhuji, continue.
So I'll read from the slide, Prabhu. Okay.
Yeah.
50. Know how to attain Brahman. Siddhim prapto yatha brahma tathapnoti nibodha me समासेनैव कौन्तेय निष्ठा ज्ञानस्य या para. Having attained such perfection by cessation of all work, one realizes Brahman, the stage of highest knowledge, jnana. Now, hear the process of realizing that Brahman.
So are we following it here? Are we following this, devotees? Vina Mataji, Santa Mataji, are you all following this?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Okay. So it says here that Brahman, to understand Brahman, one has to, or to achieve the position of a Brahman realization, sannyasa is being presented as a prerequisite. Because having attained the such perfection by cessation of all work, what is the cessation of all work? Sannyasa stage. One realizes the Brahman, the highest knowledge, which is the Supreme Lord. And then it will lead to bhakti. So yes, Prabhu, please keep on reading.
51 to 53. The process of attaining Brahman, Brahma Bhuta stage. बुद्धया विशुद्धया युक्तो धृत्यात्मानं नियम्य च शब्दादीन् विषयांस्त्वक्त्वा रागद्वेषौ व्युदस्य च विविक्तसेवी लागव asi. So, line by line. One, being purified by sattvic intelligence. Two, controlling the mind with determination. Dhityamanam niyamya cha. Giving Three, giving up all sense objects like sound. Shabdadin vishayam stvakta. And four, being freed from attachment and repulsion. Ragadvesha vyudasyascha. And fifth and sixth, living in a secluded place and eating little.
Yes.
Vivek.
So, so if you look at this thing, you may say, or you may say that, oh, these are the items that you do in uh, Astang yoga process or as a Astang yogi. But the same process also can be adopted in bhakti. Okay. So in third canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, Kapil Dev is talking to Mother Devavati and he's explaining that how the similar concept. So don't get confused that, oh, Prabhu, here it sounds like we're talking about uh, a person who is Ashtanga Yogi. And yes, if one wants to really have the Brahman realization, Brahman has multiple meaning. If if you are talking about Brahman as a effulgence of Supreme Personality of Godhead, then Gyan Yoga process or Ashtanga Yoga process is the process. So the process applies as it is.
Hmm.
No, but the same if you are talking about Brahman as the absolute truth, then the same can be also applied. But in that application, you are meditating on the personal form to realize the Supreme Lord. So there is you all are mature student now, so there is fine line of understanding that you have to you know uh, invoke here to grasp this subject.
From this page, Prabhuji, it appears like it's talking about impersonal Brahman realization at this point of
That's what I'm
time.
saying. This is
Yeah.
talking, it's talking. But this also means, then the question comes, if it's talking about the impersonal stage, then does sannyasi that we have in our sampradaya, do they, right?
Mhm.
But the sannyasi are in other sampradaya too. Okay? So
Yes.
this sannyasi is not talking about the sannyasi who is in the Brahmada Gaurya Sampradaya. They are also, it's also talking about the sannyasi who are in
Other something.
other sampradaya, Sankaracharya sampradaya, another
Mhm.
sampradaya. But the
Mhm.
process is same for them, okay?
Mhm.
But they focus on impersonal form and you focus on personal form.
Personal form. Yeah. Yeah.
So that's why I'm talking. That's what I'm trying to give that understanding. That,
Mhm.
like as you said, probably sounds like it's talking. Yes, it's it's talking about that too. Plus, it's talking about our process also.
Mhm. Yeah.
So that's why I wanted to make it clear.
Because when it says in this 49 Prabhuji, it
Uh-huh.
says his asakta buddhi sarvatra,
Yeah,
his
that's for
intelligence is,
our sannyasi too,
yeah.
right?
Mhm.
And Jitatma is for our sannyasi too.
Yeah. It, I'm seeing all the four things, all the three
For
things maybe, is
yeah,
is a negative thing. It has been said. Mind is controlled. It is asakta buddhi and without material desires. It doesn't say the positive thing. So whose intelligence is attached to whom? It is mind is focused on what? Or
and
the
for
or the
what the
desires is
material
going for
desires have
whom?
been renounced, right?
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. For whom is
Atato
it
Brahmji.
renounced for? Yeah.
Yes, 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 yes. Okay.
But I think the on the 51, 53 Prabhuji, it says it looks like these are the parameters. If we are not reaching this, we may call ourselves devotee, but we have not reached even the means the Brahma platform. Means I mean that is too also too high. But I mean, these are the parameters of us. We should have sattvic intelligence, able to control mind and sense objects, not listen to do prajalpa, etc., and freed from repulsion and ability to live in secluded place and eating little. Yeah.
Right. So this is not a step process, you know.
Mhm.
Like you cannot say that, or we cannot say that we are Brahmanwadi. We are still, you know, Bhagwanwadi.
Mm.
Brahmameti, Paramati, Bhagwanati Sabdate. But at this stage of consciousness, we are combination of multiple, you know, understanding. Our purification has not become sufficient. Still,
Mm.
there is some degree of contamination,
Mm.
but that purification or removal of contamination is happening towards Supreme Lord.
Mm.
So, are you following me? So we are removing some of our anartha, right?
Anartha. Hmm.
Anartha also get removed from the people who are Brahmanwadi,
Mm.
but their finished product is focused on Brahman.
Mm.
But we, at the final stage or ultimate stage, we are focused on Paramatma.
Mm.
So once Prabhupada was asked how many pure devotees are in the material world, Prabhupada said, how many people are following Krishna consciousness? Have you heard that statement? That
No,
famous.
no,
He
no.
said everybody who is following Krishna consciousness, they all are pure devotee. What does it
Oh,
mean?
mm.
Means maybe their swabhav and Sardha concept comes here. Their swabhav might not be 100% pure, but their Sardha is pure. Their faith is pure. And they are purely practicing their faith with some weak swabhav, some weakness. But ultimately they will reach to that perfection. Okay,
Jai.
Prabhu.
Mm.
Thank you. No, thank you. I need to answer this question so that we can see the fine line.
Uh,
Yes, Prabhu.
I'm sorry, I just wanted to comment. There was a post on WhatsApp for Madhushweva Prabhu. He was like Maharaj,
Yeah.
and he had taken sannyas, and then later on he married.
Madhusudha Prabhu took sannyas.
Yeah, he took sannyas from Prabhupada, I think.
The Prabhu who is a Rath Yatra organizer, like the rental.
Jainand Prabhu.
Oh, okay, 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 yeah, yeah, okay,
So,
okay.
and then he came back and towards the last of his Prabhupada days, and he had grown hair at that time. And so at the Delhi station, he shaved his head and with tika and went to Prabhupada. He was on the bed, and then when he came, people announced that his Madhushweva, his Prabhu is here. So Prabhupada got up on the bed and then and said, "Oh, you have nice shika. You have maintained nice shika," and 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 then he asked about his wife, and then Madhushiva's Prabhu also said, "Yeah, she could not come," and all those things. And then he said, "I have named your my son by your name. Is it okay with you?" So, I mean, this sweet exchange, he was saying that, Madhushiva Prabhu was saying that Prabhupada neglected the fact that he broke sannyas order. But he was very much concerned about his wife. Um, why I'm saying this is because, you mentioned about some nature part is there, but the desire is perfect, and therefore Krishna or Prabhupada in this case, he saw his saw his pure desire. I think he
Right.
was one of the closest Madhu Madhudvisha Prabhu, uh,
Right.
Shrutakirti and Madhudvisha Prabhu. These were.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good point. Yes. Yes. So that is very important. You know, that's how we respect the devotee. You know, somebody might have some fault right
Mm,
now, but you have to understand that even with that fault, the practice that person is engaged in is pure.
Yeah.
So
And
you have to have the respect for the process. Like
yeah.
somebody says, Mataji, how are you? Hare Krishna Prabhu. You know,
Mm,
Hare Krishna, you have to understand what does it mean. Somebody calling the name of Krishna.
mm.
So even somebody might not be pure, but again, you need some degree of advancement. It's very important in order for you to respect these things, you also have to have some degree of advancement, right?
Mhm,
To
mhm.
respect person's, position. It also requires some this, definition of Kanishta, Madhama, and Uttama, right? So
Yeah,
yes, yes. So Prabhupada was, Uttam Bhakta, so he could definitely see that if somebody is keeping Sikha, if somebody surrendered to Krishna, maybe not in a very purified format, but still surrender is to Krishna, right?
surrendered. Yeah,
So that
and I
is
mean, his means he said the most important is whichever ashram you are doing Krishna consciousness. That is the
yes,
most important.
right. We'll continue from here.
Yes,
Yat
yes.
vak kaya mansa. Yata
51,
vak kaya
53.
mansa.
The
Hey,
process.
Krishna Prabhuji, can I ask one question before we proceed?
Yeah.
50, in 50, so verse 50, in that one, I was just thinking, is there a possibility of being a sannyasi, practicing sannyasi while being a grihastha?
These
Know
are
how
these
to.
are two different ashram.
Yes, Prabhuji. But what I'm saying is, like,
So
if
you
a
are yeah. So
person
what you are trying to say is that can one be girhastha and still
practice,
act like a sannyasi?
at
And
least practice,
exactly,
in fact,
yeah,
practice like
yeah.
being
By
a
by his
sannyasi.
by his by his conduct, or by his dealing with the subject of material world, he is acting like a sannyasi, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That's the goal. That's Krishna Sambandhe, Nirbandhe Krishna Sambandhe, you know. So yes, that's the goal. That's why it's ashram. Doesn't matter I was talking with Mataji, Santa Mataji, when we were driving from the temple. Doesn't matter you are in the Brahmachari ashram or Grihastha ashram or Vanprastha ashram. In fact, the same standard is followed, that one has, although so-called attachment, but the core attachment is with Krishna, and any other attachment is just for purpose of nourishing that main attachment. So yes, but I mean, these are two different ashram, but you can say that as a grihastha, one can live like sannyasi. Yes, and that's the recommendation. Grihastha should live like a sannyasi. Otherwise, it will not be grihastha ashram. If you have no detachment from the material object, then you would not be able to focus on Krishna consciousness. You have to somehow or other minimize your uh, material desire, give the priority to Krishna consciousness. Some degree of mind control has to happen, otherwise, mind will take everywhere. So, yes, yes, the answer is yes. But it will be different ashram. A standard would be of sannyasas ashram, but still you'll be living in a grihastha
Grihastha.
ashram. Right.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Thank you, Prabhuji.
Okay, Manohar Prabhu, continue.
51, 53. The process of attaining Brahman, Brahma Bhuta stage. Yata vakaya manasa ध्यान योग परो नित्य ध्यान
Nitya.
योग परो नित्यम वैराग्यम समुपाश्रित अहंकारं बलं दर्पं कामं क्रोधं परिग्रहं विमुच्य निर्मन निर्ममः शांतो
Nirmamaha santo. Yeah.
निर्ममः शांतो ब्रह्मभूताय कल्पते. So I'll read on the left hand, right hand side. 7. Controlling one's speech, body, and mind. 8. absorption in meditating on the Lord, Dhyana Yoga Paro Nityam. 9. Taking shelter of detachment, Vairagyam Samupashritaha. 10. Freed from false ego, false strength, false pride, lust, anger, and material possessions. 11. uh, Freed from false proprietorship. And 12. Peaceful like an ocean without waves. Such a person can attain Brahman self realization.
Yes. So very nicely, these 12, you know, it's kind of summary of what we have studied before. But in 12 points, very nicely it's summarized that how a Brahm Bhuta person looks like. You know, Brahm Bhuta person Atma, next the verse you will read. Okay, Babu, continue.
In the stage of Brahma Bhuta, one is completely devoid of all contaminations of the material modes and becomes fully joyful or peaceful. A pure soul, Prasanna Atma, after realizing oneself in this way, one can attain pure bhakti unto Lord Krishna.
Right. So Prabhupada in his translation says that there are three transcendentalists, Brahmanwadi, Paramatmavadi, and Bhagwanwadi. So why they are called transcendentalists? Because they already have all the qualities of devotees, right? They have, some qualities of devotees, and then they have higher chance to become the Paramatmavadi and finally to become Bhagwanwadi. So that's why uh, there are some overlap, and you have to understand that, like, somebody may go on same flight from here to Chicago, right? But someone will stop and stay in Chicago, and and a few people out of many who are on the flight will go to Los Angeles, right?
Mm,
So when you are flying from here to Chicago, it will appear that all of you have, boarded the plane and you all are on the same plane, you are flying to the same destination. But then there are few who would even fly further. So it's
mm,
like that. So you can stop in Chicago or you can go to Los Angeles. But the person who have gone to Chicago have flew, have experience of flying. And so the
mm,
devotee who are pure bhakta, they have gone further distance, further destination, higher destination,
mm,
but they have, but the people who are Brahmanwadi, they have also cultivated the similar qualities, but they have not continued further down to Bhagwanwadi unless and until they have made endeavor to come to higher
mm,
stage. If they have stopped at Brahman stage, then that's their, stage. So it's very uh, good kind of line of sight. It's kind of existing together.
mm.
It's coexistent. It's not individual existent or separate
So,
existent.
yeah.
And there
So,
you'll see
Brahman
this verse.
realization, yeah, sorry.
That's true. That's true.
So, what you're saying is it inclusive, that means the Brahman realization is inclusive inside
Yeah.
Bhakti.
So Satchit
Not
Ananda, Supreme Lord, understanding the Supreme Lord is Satchit Anand, right?
mm,
Satchit Anand feature. Once we know the Satchit Anand feature of the Supreme Lord, then we have full understanding of the Supreme Lord. Sat feature is Brahman,
mm,
Chit is Paramatma, and Ananda feature of Supreme Lord. But Sat Chit Anand, once we know all these three feature, then we are pure devotee. We know the Supreme Lord. But Sat feature is only Brahman, partial
mm,
understanding of the Supreme Lord. Sat and Chit feature is Paramatma understanding.
mhm,
But when Ananda is also there, then Sat Chit Anand. So devotee, that's why devotee is a perfect Brahmanwadi, perfect Paramatmavadi.
mhm.
You got it?
Yeah.
That's how you see. because
That
he
was
has all three realizations.
mm. Yeah, I mean, when the four Kumaras were trying to enter Vaikunthas, they were kind of Brahmavadi, but they were pure devotees at the same time, also, right? I mean, they could enter the six gates and they were stopped at the seventh gate for some reason. So it was Lord's thing, but at that time they showed anger at the Jay and Vijay.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
So they
But
are four
yeah.
Kumaras are Jnana potency of Supreme Personality of Godhead.
Oh.
The
Okay.
knowledge potency of Supreme Personality of Godhead are these four Kumaras.
Mm,
Like uh, Palan Sakti
mm,
is Prithu Maharaj. So Lord has different energy, and those energies are personified by personality, certain personality. Vyasdev is also Gyan Shakti. So they are pure devotees. They are pure devotee, but yes, they are personification of certain potency of Supreme Personality of Godhead.
mm. Yeah. Okay, I'll read on. Um, in the stage of Brahmaputa, one is completely devoid of all contaminations of the material modes and becomes fully joyful or peaceful. A pure soul, Prasanatma, after realizing oneself in this way, he can attain pure bhakti unto Lord Krishna.
Clearly says that, right?
Mm,
Right. It concludes after realizing oneself in this way. So after realizing one's self in this way, what does it mean? Oneself is soul also, and
mm,
self of all the self is who? Supreme Lord.
mm,
So after realizing oneself in this way, one can attain pure bhakti. That means one can understand the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So these things has to be understood very carefully.
The one question sometimes asked, and I don't have very good answer, but maybe you can. Some people say that okay, impersonal Brahman realization. When people go, they come. There's a possibility of coming back to the material world. So this question, why is that so? I mean, what uh, when they have reached the transcendence, the realm of transcendence, why there is still a possibility of coming back?
Because there is no complete purification.
Hmm.
Purification has happened, but unless and until soul is not fully purified from the material contamination, soul cannot uh, get into the realm of Supreme Lord. As long as there is tinge of contamination,
Hmm.
bhukti mukti, uh, what is that verse? Sakale ashant, Krishna bhakta niskam ataiva shant. So unless until one's desire is not purified to the state that they have come to the point where they find alignment with the desire of Supreme Lord. As long as there is separate desire, oh, let me little bit enjoy this, let me little bit do this, that means that desire is not pure.
Hmm.
So, someone goes to Brahman to merge into Supreme Personality of Godhead,
Hmm.
right? So that's personal desire. But in pure bhakti, the desire is only ahitukya pratihata yatmasu prasiddhati. The desire is not to please oneself. We
Hmm.
don't do bhakti to please ourselves. We do bhakti, or bhakta has at some point, once they advance, then has no desire for their personal gratification.
Hmm.
Everything for Krishna. And then at that stage, once becomes fully Krishnized, Then they go back to Krishna. There is nothing. There is nothing. It's just Krishna is fully Krishna is.
Mhm.
So Brahman stage is not. It's not perfected stage unless and until. So you know that living beings are called also Sachidanand, right? Sachit. What is this soul? Soul is made of Sachidanand, right?
Yeah.
So these three features have to be fully awakened and understood to understand oneself also and to understand Lord also. So only Sat feature is Brahman. So it's not full realization. It's partial
Yeah.
realization. So with partial realization, how one can go back to home, back to Krishna. But Sat also means eternity. So that's why many times you would hear Prabhupada has also spoken that people who are aspiring for Brahmanwadi, they are Atmadaha, they are killer of oneself.
Mm.
They are killing of oneself. Why? Because Brahman is higher, but it's not complete truth. So
Mm.
one gets into Brahman and then stays there for a long time.
Mm.
So many days of Brahma will go and all of that. So it's little dangerous because you get stuck somewhere, for a long time. That's
Mm.
why Guru, Shuddh Guru, pure Guru is needed because pure spiritual master can tell you should focus on Bhagwan, not on Brahman.
Mm.
Did it help, Prabhu?
Yes, yes, yeah. I mean, I'm thinking of ways to convince that person, but these things
No, I
comes
mean,
from
here's the
me.
thing. You should not, you should try, but there are certain things that you can never convince.
Mm.
Yeah, because they need mercy also, Sukriti also.
Mm.
Intelligence cannot help one understand the spiritual science, Prabhu.
Mm.
Like there is Krishna in
Mm.
Golok Vrindavan. One's intelligence is very difficult, one to understand that. But
Mm.
devotee can very easily see, yeah, Krishna is there in Golok Vrindavan. Now, that that is just the Sukriti, just the faith, just the mercy of Supreme Lord.
Mm.
Otherwise, why somebody intelligence will say, why to get up in the morning? It's best time for sleeping. Devotee will say, no, 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 get up, get up. That's the best time to chant name of Krishna. And somebody will say, well, what it will do for you? Who has seen the Krishna? So intelligence cannot reach the certain concept. So at that point, you tell, please come to our temple, chant and dance, associate with devotee, take
Yeah.
nice prasadam, get some sukriti, agyat
Mm.
sukriti, and then at due course of time, the faith will come. Like you have faith in Krishna, I have faith in Krishna. All the devotees here who are on the call have some belief in name of Krishna. Oh my gosh, this is so much of the advancement itself.
Mm.
So much of the advancement.
Mm.
Bahunam Jarmanamante, Gyanwan Mam Prapadyante. Many births that we have taken and little bhakti that we have done, all of that has accumulated and has brought us to this point where we have now faith. So these are not. Are you following me, Mataji? Are you following me? Are you understanding what I'm saying? So having this faith, and we cannot convince certain thing. Certain concept. It doesn't matter how hard, how nicely, how you know friendly, how simply you try to explain, but it's still a little bit too much. In
Mm.
that case, bhakti sukriti is needed.
Mm. Okay. I'll read on 54. This is the learning verse. Brahma Bhuta stage to Bhakti. Brahman realization to Bhagwan realization. Brahma Bhuta Prasannatma. One who is thus situated 1853, 51 to 53, at once realizes Supreme Brahman and becomes fully joyful. Na sochati na kankshati. He never laments or desires anything. Sama sarveshu bhuteshu. He is equally disposed towards every living entity. Madbhaktin labate param. In that state, beyond the modes, he attains pure devotional service unto me. Prema
This
Bhakti.
is a verse for memorization,
Yeah.
and this verse very clearly says that Brahman stage Brahmut prasanatma. The sochati na kanchati. Samasarveshu bhuteshu madbhakti labde Brahm. Brahman stage is beginning of the pure bhakti.
Hmm.
So as long as we are sochati and kanchati, we are lamenting and we are too much absorbed in thinking, who can save this world? Everything is going in jungle. People are this and that. Let me help society. You will see. Let me engage in this help, that help. Then bhakti cannot begin.
Hmm.
And then also another qualification is given. Samasarveshu bhuteshu. He is come to that stage where he does not see body.
Hmm.
He's not seeing, okay, this is animal, this is, birds, or these are, watery creature, and this is less developed, this is more developed. He sees that everywhere there are only soul and different. So these are the prerequisite for one to start real bhakti. Okay, Prabhu, continue.
It appears like Sukhdev Goswami, he did not uh, see distinguish between male and female. So, I mean,
Right,
just completely in
right.
Brahmabodh stage.
Completely Brahmagota stage. That's
Yeah.
why, he just, after hearing three verses about Krishna, he became pure devotee.
Hmm.
That's a good example that you gave. That tells how the Brahman and Bhagwan realization goes parallel, okay? And at some point, it picks it up.
Hmm.
It gets into
So,
Bhagwan realization.
what are the three verses he heard, Prabhuji, which
We'll
caused?
talk about it.
Okay.
It's in
Yeah.
Bhagavatam. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. The Brahmabhuta stage of self realization or liberation is the final aspiration of an impersonalist. But bhakti is beyond Brahman realization. A personalist or pure devotee aspire to do sorry. A personalist or pure devotee aspire to do bhakti or pure devotional service unto Lord Krishna. A devotee is already in a state of liberation or oneness with the Absolute. Without being one with the Lord uh, on a spiritual platform, one cannot
Yeah.
render service unto Him.
So how nicely, Prabhupada is saying this, I should
Hmm.
have underlined that. A devotee is already in the state of liberation or oneness with the absolute. You see
Yeah.
here? So
Yeah.
how Prabhupada has, given this oneness, Prabhu, this is very, very, beautiful section, in fact. Very beautiful section. This says oneness, okay? So for, remember in the beginning I was talking that this path is not separate. So
Hmm.
they are talking oneness merging in supreme personality of Godhead, right?
Yeah.
Brahman. And
Hmm.
we are talking oneness in devotional
In self,
service.
in service.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. So for us, this for us is that Brahman.
Hmm.
Oneness in devotional service. Okay. I don't
Yeah.
hear anything from Veena Mataji, Santa Mataji. Are you all busy with something else?
Prabhuji, I'm here.
Okay. So it making sense? I thought that you would ask me some tough questions. So that means sometimes if you don't ask, then I would say that maybe I'm not making more sense. Then I'll keep on talking. So yes, so this oneness should be very clear, okay? Right? In bhakti. Okay? Thank you.
Hmm. So it's like the goal is to please the Lord. So we are to that goal. We are, in a sense, one with the Lord. We are trying to constantly think of Lord and trying to please Him to that effect, or His devotees, trying to please His devotees. Mm. Okay, I think next slide. I think. Prabhuji,
Yeah.
should I, or would you like somebody else to?
No, you can read. You can continue.
Okay. 49 to 55, Brahman platform. 55. By bhakti, one can know Krishna and attain his abode. Bhaktya mam abhijanati. Oh, sorry. Yavan yaschasmi tattvataha tato mam tattvato gyatva vishate tad anantaram. One can understand me as I am, as the Supreme Personality of Godhead, only by devotional service. Bhaktya mam abhijanati. And when one thus knows me fully in truth and is in full consciousness of me, tato mam tattvato gyatva, he can enter the spiritual world, the kingdom of God. Vishate tad anantaram.
We have, similar verse we have studied. So very simple, right? Krishna
Hmm.
says that Bhaktya mam abhijanati. You know. So he doesn't say that Jnani mam abhijanati
Hmm.
or Niskam yogi mam abhijanati or
Hmm.
Karm yogi mam abhijanati or Ashtang yogi mam abhijanati. Very clearly he's saying Bhaktya mam abhijanati.
Hmm.
That right of knowing Krishna, Krishna gives only to his devotee.
Hmm. It's amazing.
The one who knows me fully in truth, as in full, and or is in full consciousness of me, or that person who are in full consciousness of me. That's the one I wanted to say. So this bhaktya, this is very important, and many time we cite this verse when we give classes. Another we cite Krishna very strongly says here that bhaktya mam Avijanati. My bhakta knows me. Yeah, this is very important. Having described how a jnani progresses step by step by giving up the result of works, then the work itself and the attains liberation. Krishna will now explain how his devotee attains him. Okay. So now we'll be talking about we have come from the stage of being entrapped into guna. Then we talked about prescribed duty, right?
Yeah.
Through
Mhm.
prescribed duty, as you know, we have to do until Niskam Yoga. That
Mhm.
Niskam Yoga leads to Gyan Yoga, which is ultimately leading to Brahman realization. Now we have come to the
Mhm.
Bhagwan realization. So
Bhagavan.
all of that steps we have gone through,
Mhm.
but finally Krishna is talking here about Bhagwan realization is known only to Bhakta. So it's kind of a summary verse, verse of memorization also, and it summarizes that although one may go through all of this process, but Niskam Yogi or Karm Yogi or Gyan Yogi or Astang Yogi, none of them would know Krishna in truth. That's what we were talking also, Sat, Chit and Anand, different degree of understanding. Okay, we'll finish this two verses also.
The one question which comes
Yes, Babaji.
uh, is that it appears that knowing Krishna is kind of impossible in the sense that he is infinite. So, how can we know infinite?
Yeah. In that sense, yeah, Krishna himself does not know about himself because his gun, his roop, his quality, his pastime is every minute increasing. You know that, right?
Yeah.
Radha sees Krishna, then Radharani becomes more effulgent, more attractive. Then seeing Radharani, Krishna becomes more attractive. So this keep on going, keep on increasing, and then there is no end to it. So yes, but tattva, there is understanding in term of melo, and then there is understanding in term of tattva. Okay, so or philosophical understanding. Okay, and then there is understanding of rasa. Yes, in terms of rasa, you would never understand Krishna. Only Radharani will understand if you talk that way. Okay, but in thought, in terms of tattva, Satchit Anand, pure devotee, in Bhakti Samrita Sindhu, we'll study that Samyut Sakti, Sandhani Shakti, and Haladani Shakti. Satchit Anand feature. These are there are Krishna has three eternal potency, which is made of Jnanam, Balam, and Anandam. So it's called Samvit, Sandhani. Samvit is Gyan potency, Sandhani is Bal potency, and Haladani is Anand potency. So pure devotee at Bhava stage, Prema stage would know this all three potency. So tattva wise, one may have understanding that Krishna is supreme personality of Godhead. So here, understanding or coming to that understanding means without any doubt, one has firm conviction that Krishna is supreme personality of Godhead. No doubt. Do you have doubt or you have no doubt?
Hmm.
I have doubt.
Yeah,
I'm not
that,
100%. Yeah.
yeah.
So that's tattva wise, understanding. All of our acharyas, tattva wise, but rasa wise, rasa. This is two different subject. Melo, Bhagwan, Krishna, Melo is only Radharani knows.
Hmm.
Devotee through sadhana bhakti would never come to that stage of understanding Supreme Lord. Sadhana bhakti has, again, I'm getting into a different area that require a little bit more discussion. But through sadhana bhakti, Nitya Siddha Krishna Prema Sadhya ka bunaya, Sarvanadi Suddha Chitta Karaya Udaya, in Bahu Janma Kari Adi Sarvana Kirtana, Tabo na Paive Krishna Prema Dhana. So sadhana bhakti, like we are contaminated living being. I don't want to. I will have to stop recording to say what I'm going to say, but not to discourage. But I'll have to think how should I say it because I don't want to discourage anybody. But anyways, let me say it. For sadhaka, knowing Krishna is very difficult. Okay? You have to be manjari. You have to be one of the closest associate of Srimati Radharani.
Hmm.
But on philosophical, on tattva philosophy, way, one would know the tattva. One would have that firm conviction that Krishna is supreme personality of Godhead without any doubt. That's what we are talking about. One would, without any doubt, aspire to be pure devotee of Krishna. No doubt about it. But rasa, what you are talking about, how we can know Krishna? Yeah, we can never know Krishna. Rasa, oh my gosh, very difficult. Yes, Krishna. If we or if one can claim that he or she knows Krishna in truth, then 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 that means it has limit. Are you following me?
Prabhu, whenever we are talking, the love of Krishna is rasa.
No. Krishna is, it's both. For us, it's right now tattva. We don't know. We don't have any understanding of rasa. Melo will develop, process of bhakti. Bikara and all of that. It's a little advanced. Let's stop that topic. But just to make it a little bit more clear, that Tattva wise Prabhu, not the Melo wise. Krishna is, right now when we are talking Krishna, we are talking about basically his Vishnu feature also. So, Satchitanand feature through pure bhakti, through sadhana, one can one can understand, one can come to the stage of pure bhakti, very higher stage. But can we know Krishna in truth? No. That's all I can say right now.
Oh, can you tell me again? You are saying Tattva, Melo, and Rasa,
We'll talk
right?
about it, Mataji. Yeah. Philosophy and Melo. It's called Tattva and Rasa. There is, generic understanding, you know, and then there is philosophical understanding, and then there is understanding, in Rasa. So, generic understanding of Supreme Lord, many people do not have, at least just the generic understanding. Prasad Muni has given the definition that Supreme Lord has all that six potency in truth. That's generic understanding. So, general understanding has to have, and then after understanding that, one has to have the philosophical understanding, which is who the Supreme Lord is. All of that we are discussing is philosophy around Krishna to understand him. But Rasa is very high. Rasa has, bhava, mahabhava, it has deeper mood. And for that, we have to be very, very purified and very, very exalted to get there.
Yeah.
Chant more name of Krishna,
Mm.
depend on Krishna more. Then at some point, these things will, reveal to us. We'll talk later about some of these things beyond the scope of this course.
Mhm. Yeah, the love for God, it can enter into our
Awaken.
hearts.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it can. It's
awaken.
already awakening. It's
Mhm.
already awakened. But this love has, Prabhu, no limit, right?
Mm.
Let's put it that way. The simple way to put it, that we already have some love. All of us have some love, but that love has no limit.
Mm.
Okay. So that limitless love, how we can put the limit to it. That's all I'm talking.
Mm.
In a very simple way, Mataji. Okay, we can take these two verse so that I
Okay,
can start. Yes, Prabhuji.
so it's the last, okay, 55, 55. Yes,
56.
yeah, 56. 56, okay. The section says 56 to 66, pure bhakti acting in Krishna consciousness. The 56 to 60, working and not working in Krishna consciousness. So 56, activities in bhakti lead to Krishna's abode. सर्वकर्माणि सर्वकर्माणि अपि सदा कुर्वन् कुर्वाणो मद्व्यपाश्रय मत्प्रसादात् अवाप्नोति शाश्वतं पदम् अव्ययम्. My pure devotee, although doing all kinds of activities, always is under my protection. Sarkarmani api sada kurvan mad vyapashraya. By my mercy, he reaches mat prasadad avapnoti, the eternal and imperishable abode of mine. Shashvatam padam avyayam.
This is very powerful verse, Prabhu.
Mhm.
This is, one of the essential samam bonam verse.
Mm.
Yeah, this is symptom of the pure devotee. Sarva karmani api sada kurvano mad Vyapasraya. Whatever situation one is, he or she is in, he or she is always under my protection. My pure devotee, Krishna says that he never forget me, he or she, and I never forget her. And then that's what happens. Last two. Mat prasadad avapnoti. Sometimes people say, oh, how they can do it. Some of the still today we are very surprised to find out how one Srila Prabhupada can have so many temples, right? How one person can do. We have one house and whole life we have one pair. We are working hard to pay the mortgage, right? And Prabhupada has millions, billions dollar of property all over the globe. How it's possible, you know, right? Los Angeles temple, Dallas temple, New York temple, Detroit temple, this temple, that temple, London temple, you know, by my mercy, by my mercy. Devotee can do miracles. Devotee can achieve uh, beyond one's limitations because devotee has mercy of Krishna.
Independence.
So sometimes somebody will ask you, how you can manage it. Well, by mercy of Krishna. Okay, so I think we'll start from 57th verse. Let me highlight it so that I can remember that we have to start from 57th verse. Okay, Prabhu,
Okay. Then yes.
let me use a different. I just want to be different, Okay. Thank you, Hare Krishna. Can we stop here? Anybody has anything that they would like to share or ask? Hope we'll have more devotees from next class. I don't see a Jyoti Mataji coming.
So we'll have next week, Prabhuji. Next week.
What is next week?
I mean,
Next
it's a
Saturday.
long. Next Saturday. Okay.
You don't want class? I think we should do class.
Yeah. Okay.
We should do class. You'll be not here, right?
Means I'll be not in town, but I can. I'll see if I can attend it remotely.
Okay, Prabhu. Thank you.
Yeah.
Hare Krishna.
Hari Bol.
Hare Krishna Mataji is Hari Bol. We are good?
Yes,
Hare Krishna,
yes,
Prabhu.
Prabhuji.
Dandavad Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank
Vanchkal
you.
Patori Vesa Kripa Sindhu Vesa. Patitanam Pavaneve Vaishnava Namo Namo Samal